This is a text that says no, and then I'm horny, and then come over.
That is true. I did send those messages.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
But he's a married man.
Hold on.
It actually happened during labor, Your Honor. I was in the hospital sitting across from Kayla as she was pushing this baby out.
I have text messages proof right here of the most recent is Valentine's Day. She went to another man's house.
Because of this game that she and I like to play, that she likes to play.
You 46-year-old married man, Mr. Hartfield. What game are you playing with a 22-year-old girl?
And I received a text from a guy telling me to leave the hospital because that's his baby and he needs to be there.
What?
I am in labor.
Well, that's because you didn't even get me anything, and you were just yelling at me. You were treating me like crap and was gonna go to a friend's house.
All right, strap in, folks. Mr. Benning drops a bomb right off the bat, sharing his shaky feels about whether his toddlers, 2-year-old Robin and baby Jermaine Jr., are actually his. He's hoping they are, but thanks to some naughty shenanigans from the defendant, he's got a storm cloud of doubt hanging over him. You'll want to stick around because the drama is just getting started.
Mr. Benning, you recently appeared in couples court and it was confirmed that the defendant cheated on you. This infidelity has caused questions regarding your 2-year-old daughter, Robin, and 6-month-old son, Jermaine Jr.'s paternity. Although you are hopeful that both are your children.
His daughter, Woa. This part's a tearjerker. Mr. Benning gets all mushy, talking about his daughter, Robin, who he reckons is the spitting image of his mom, who passed away when he was just a kid. It's all about family feels and promises, folks. And oh, the next bit? It's a doozy.
First off, Your Honor, my mother passed away when I was 14 years old. She was my best friend. We spent every waking moment together. After she died, it, left me hurt. I always wanted a daughter, and I promised I was going to take care of her and treat her like my mother took care of me.
Oh, that's
so
wonderful.
I've always stuck by with that.
So having a daughter has been so important to you.
I waited.
Hold the phone. Get this. While Ms. Bodine is busy pushing out a baby, Mr. Benning's phone blows up with a text from another dude claiming he's the real daddy. Talk about bad timing. It's a real soap opera scene. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.
It actually happened during labor, Your Honor. I was in the hospital sitting across from Kayla as she was pushing this baby out. And I received a text from a guy telling me to leave the hospital because that's his baby and he needs to be there.
What?
I am in labor, like literally in the hospital. And I received a text telling me that the child that I'm waiting to come isn't mine.
Just when you think it couldn't get more tangled, Ms. Bodine has already done a secret paternity test on the side dude, who's not the dad. Plot twist. The court's all ears, and so should you be because the plot thickens from here.
How do you know this other guy is not the biological father?
Because, Your Honor, I stood up, did the woman and the mother thing I had to do, and got the other guy tested.
Oh. And you submitted those results to the court?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right. The probability of paternity between you and this other guy is 0%.
Yes.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Benning, you are not the father.
What the?
All right, grab your popcorn, because here comes the big news drop. The court reveals they have retested Mr. Jackson and are ready to disclose the results. Judge Lake announces that the DNA results have been prepared by DNA Diagnostics, creating a moment of high tension and anticipation in the courtroom. Everyone's on the edge of their seat. What's coming up will definitely raise some eyebrows.
Well, this court has retested Mr. Jackson. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Downing versus Jones, when it comes to 29-year-old Brittany Stark, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson is not the father.
Cue the dramatic entrance music for Mr. Aiken. Mr. Aiken joins the court via video link from his hometown, introducing another potential father into the narrative. He confidently states his belief that he is Brittany's biological father, based on her resemblance to his family and her interactions with them. Buckle up, things are about to get even more tangled.
I do believe I'm Brittany's biological father. That she came down and visited my mom, she met my other kids, and she resembled everything. I mean, she is me. It was a high school thing, back then it was one of those things when you just meet somebody you like them, and experimental as we was younger, and it's one of those things that happened, and I guess this is the results.
Did someone say curveball? Mr. Downing expresses his surprise and frustration upon learning about Mr. Aiken only a week ago, highlighting the complexity and emotional weight of the case. He is visibly upset about the evolving situation, feeling misled by the lack of transparency from Ms. Jones. The next revelation's just around the corner, and trust me, it's a doozy.
So, Mr. Downing, when did you first hear about Mr. Aiken?
Last week. In a phone conversation with Miss Jones, we were talking. She told me that, well, there may be a third person that, could possibly be her father. And I'm like, wow, third guy? She said it didn't have to go this far. She could have been honest in the beginning and say, hey, look, I don't know who the dad is, but let's all get together and let's figure this thing out for Brittany's sake.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, nope, the final DNA result.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Aiken, you are not the father.
Wow.
You're not gonna believe this. Ms. Davis steps up with a claim that she got knocked up by Mr. Ham after a mere 2 months of knowing him. She's also thrown in a lawsuit for $1,500 for some baby shower gifts she says Mr. Ham swiped from her. Strap in, because this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Ms. Davis, you claim you got pregnant with Mr. Ham's child after knowing him for only 2 months. You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Ham is the father of your 1-month-old baby, Jarrell Ham Jr. You're suing him for $1,500 for the cost of the baby shower gifts that you say Mr. Ham took from you.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. Mr. Ham is adamant he's not the daddy, pointing fingers at Ms. Davis for playing the field during their fling. He spills the tea on their first meet, which sounds more like a tailgate party than a romantic date, with a crowd and all at their planned quiet spot by the lake. Oh, and it only gets juicier from here.
Now, Mr. Ham, you say Ms. Davis was dating 2 other men, and you are certain that you are not the father of her child. How can you be so sure this child is not yours?
I was in my car, just came from getting a haircut. I was looking good in my car. Me and Brittany has the same exact car, just different colors. She was looking pretty, too, I'm not gonna lie. She flagged me down to stop me so we can switch numbers.
Get this, Mr. Ham drops a bombshell about Ms. Davis still being married, on top of juggling a couple of boyfriends. He lays out their casual hookups with a side of skepticism about being the father, given the crowded field. Fasten your seatbelts, the roller coaster's about to drop.
So, it's your testimony, Mr. Ham, she had more than one boyfriend.
Yes, she's married too, and she's still technically married now. She's not the person, she's still technically married. And she had 2 boyfriends too. So this is why I'm in a point where this can't really be my child, due to the fact she had all these boyfriends, and then at the end of the day, I come found she's married too, so I don't know what to believe.
Just when you think it couldn't get wilder, Ms. Davis talks about the moment she found out she was pregnant and how she broke the news to Mr. Ham, who seemed cool with it at first. But as the doubts crept in, the support started to crumble. Watch out for what's next. It's a doozy.
I'm at work throwing up, sick. Couldn't take it, so I asked my supervisor, can I go to the hospital? I'm thinking I had food poisoning or something, and I was pregnant.
After you found out you were pregnant, how did you tell Mr. Ham?
I called his phone and told him I was pregnant. He was at work. I went to his job, and man was talking about it. He was happy, excited.
So you felt like his reaction was that of excitement?
He was gonna be there.
Talk about a clash of titans. The courtroom turns into a battlefield as accusations fly and tensions boil over. Ms. Davis details the rocky aftermath of her pregnancy reveal, shedding light on their shaky relationship foundation. And guess what? It's about to escalate even more.
So tell me why you doubt it.
Well, me and her argued. She told in front of my mother and auntie that this was not my child when the child was 4 weeks old.
I never did that.
She told this, and the second time when we was arguing in front of her at her mother's house.
To you out of anger. Out of anger, yes, your I did say that twice.
And then the second time
we argued, he made me mad. I'm like, you know.
All right.
And then there was the baby shower showdown. Ms. Davis accuses Mr. Ham of hijacking all the baby goodies, which leads to a heated debate about gift ownership and parental responsibility. The drama intensifies here, folks, and you'll want to see how this pans out.
The baby shower, I did not even want until after the baby was here, until I found out it was mine. She went behind my back and talked to my family after I told her not to. This is.
But at some point, you had a baby shower.
Due to the fact that she talked my family into it. I got into it with my
family. Ms. Davis, did you talk?
No, I did not. I didn't even know they wanted me to the baby shower. They begged me to come to the baby shower.
Talk about a plot twist. Judge Lake steps in and rules in favor of Ms. Davis, ordering Mr. Ham to cough up $1,500 or return the stolen baby loot. This ruling underscores that once a gift is given, it's no takesies backsies. Brace yourselves. The DNA results are next, and they're a real game changer.
But to rule in favor of the plaintiff for $1,500 because those gifts belong to, you need to return the gifts, or you need to give her $1,500, which is the value of the gifts because you testified that that was the value, whether or not you're the child's father. The law is the law.
Here comes the bombshell. Mr. Hartfield spills the beans about his fling and straight up denies being the baby daddy. He claims Ms. Streeter was also playing the field, which makes him doubt the kiddo is his. The judge lays out the stakes for Mr. Hartfield's marriage based on today's drama. Brace yourself. It's about to get even juicier.
Mr. Hartfield, you say you made a mistake by having an affair, but you know you are not father of Ms. Streeter's child. You claim that Ms. Streeter was openly sleeping with other men besides you. Today's results will determine whether or not you'll be able to save your marriage.
You're not gonna believe this. Miss Streeter dishes out how she and Mr. Hartfield planned to have a baby together, painting a picture of a cozy future that now looks nothing but messy in hindsight. Their plan contrasts big time with his courtroom denial. Get ready, the next bit is a real kicker.
Mr. Hartfield asked me to have a baby with him. We were dating for about 8 months, a long time. We were in a relationship. He wanted to have a baby. He said he didn't get to raise any of his. We went to the hospital and we got the birth control taken out together.
She tell me a whole lot of lies. That's convincing. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I'd be convinced.
What is true?
That's definitely not the truth. We went in and took a...
Oh snap, the plot thickens. During a fiery exchange, Mr. Hartfield admits he was paying Mrs. Streeter to keep their secret from his wife, showing just how sneaky he's been. The stakes are high and the lies are flying left and right. Up next, watch how this unfolds into even more of a soap opera.
If I'm lying, then how would she have information to call my wife when I was paying her not to tell my wife about the situation?
Our first time having sex, we went down
Because
the
I did
street
not
from
pay
his
the
house
rent,
to a hotel.
she called her.
He's lying. He had ended up telling me a relative's name, and I had went on Facebook and found the relative, and I didn't even call her right away because he had told me, like, them pictures are old, she's professional.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. Mr. Hartfield fesses up to sending those racy texts to Ms. Streeter, trying to brush it off as just some weird game they play. It's a big reveal that shows he's still playing field, even in the middle of a legal showdown. Things are about to get even more tangled in the next scene.
This is a text that says, no, and then I'm horny, and then come over.
That is true. I did send those messages.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I
But
did.
he's a married man.
Hold on. Because of this game that she and I like to play, that she likes to play. But I'm telling you, that is not true.
You 46-year-old married man, Mr. Hartfield. What game are you playing with a 22-year-old girl?
Did he really just say that? According to Ms. Streeter, Mr. Hartfield was all in when he found out about the pregnancy, showing a side of him that's all about family, or so he made it seem. But in court, he's singing a whole different tune. Keep watching. The surprises just don't stop.
He was excited. He wanted a baby. That was the whole point.
This is the situation. Dominique deals with so many guys. She found one that was an older guy, and she thought that I would be, the thing is that she found out, hey, you're dealing with a guy that ain't got no money, so now you waste your time.
That's not true.
Because you done wasted so much time telling people that he's your baby's father, that now you got to play the role.
Game changer coming through. The story shifts to the birth of the baby, with Ms. Streeter recounting how Mr. Hartfield was there, all excited, yet later he bailed on signing the birth certificate. It's a roller coaster of emotions and legal drama. What happens next will make your jaw drop.
He was there when the baby was born. He was excited, like, you know, that's my baby, that's my boy. I never got to see none of my kids born. I want to be with you. I tried to get him to sign the birth certificate. The reason why he signed it at first, but it was time for the witness to see us. He like, you too anxious about me signing this birth certificate. You know what, miss, take my name off, talking to the witness, be on the birth
certificate. So first he signed the birth certificate.
He thought it couldn't get more twisted? Mrs. Streeter drops another bomb. Mr. Hartfield wasn't just juggling her. He had a whole lineup of ladies. This guy's love life is busier than a subway at rush hour, undermining everything he said so far. Wait till you see what's coming. It's a doozy.
He had more girlfriends than he was talking to me. When I first met him, he had a lot of women he talked to.
Of course.
It was so not only was it me, it was other people.
Let the truth come out. That's exactly what I said.
I have my own place. I'm a man. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. I never had a relationship with her.
You felt like he was living with you when he was sleeping with her.
Yes.
And you didn't know about this other place.
I did not know about the other place.
And now, the moment of truth. The judge finally reads the DNA results, and guess what?
Mr. Hartfield, you are the father.
Buckle up, folks. Ms. Holshoe steps up to the plate, claiming she's here to prove that the defendant's father is her biological dad. She's not just throwing darts in the dark. She's got her game face on and is ready to swing. Let's see how this unfolds. It's just getting juicy.
Ms. Holshoe, you claim your mother had an affair with the defendant's father, and today you're in court to prove that he is your biological father.
Here comes the mudslinging. Ms. Howard and her squad tag Ms. Holshoe as a major drama queen, claiming her mom wreaked havoc on their family portrait. It's a zinger that sets the tone for some family feud vibes. Hang tight, the tea is about to spill.
My mother and Mr. Howard both told me that he was my father, and also family members on his side of the family. And also I'm in the obituary as his daughter.
That was a big mistake that her name was put into the obituary. Our father's sister did that.
No.
And did not tell any of us about it. Our father didn't even mention her.
Plot twist alert! Ms. Holshoe drops a bombshell about her terminal cancer and her quest for a family history download. It's serious stuff, but she's here not just for answers, but perhaps for some sibling solidarity too. Watch out for the next clip. It's a doozy.
I had a relationship with Mr. Howard through the years after I found out that he was my father. And the only reason I'm even wanting to know that he is my father is because I've recently learned that I have terminal cancer, and I'd like to have family history. And I also, which I know they don't want to, but I would also like to have some sort of information from them about him.
Whoa, curveball from the old family buddy. He's chiming in to say Ms. Holshoe might not be part of the Howard ensemble after all. It's adding layers to this family mystery pie. What's next? More bombshells, guaranteed.
Our father was with us every weekend.
She's just coming in like a big old bulldozer.
My maintenance man in my building was my father's childhood friend.
He and I had a chat recently, and we chatted for quite some time. I do know that she thinks that she's our sister, so I asked him, and he said no.
You never heard any rumors about your father cheating?
When we got older.
Right.
When we were
as
older.
teenagers.
Right.
Flashback time. Ms. Holshoe reminisces about crashing a family reunion like a surprise guest at a wedding. The confrontation she describes is straight out of a reality TV show, complete with booing and hissing. Strap in, the roller coaster is about to go off the rails.
Miss Holshoe, did you actually go to the family reunion?
Your Honor, my first husband and I went there. We walked into the pavilion and sat down with DL and started talking to him, and I don't remember which women it was, but chased me out, calling me all these nasty names. They wanted to beat me up.
She's lying.
Oh my God.
I heard this.
Wow.
Moment of truth time.
It has been determined by this court that the probability of half-siblingship between Diana Howard and Misty Lynn Holshoe is 98.1%.
Buckle up, folks. The case of White v. White kicks off with Mrs. White dragging her husband to court to prove he's daddy to 3-year-old Savannah. She's hoping a DNA test will patch things up after a bit of cheating. Oh, and by a bit, I mean a lot. Just wait till you hear what her hubby thinks about all this.
Ms. White, you've opened your case because your last and only way to save your marriage and family is to prove to your husband that he fathered your 3-year-old daughter, Savannah. You admit you've cheated in the past, but hope once the results are revealed, your husband will trust you again.
Here comes the bombshell. Mr. White is throwing contour the country, throwing around some serious claims about not being the kiddo's bio dad and is even talking divorce if the test shows he's right. He loves the little tyke, but is fed up with the marital circus. Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Mr. White, you claim to have physical proof your wife broke her vows, and as much as you love Savannah, you do not believe you're her biological father and are prepared to divorce your wife when the test proves your case.
You're not gonna believe this. Mr. White started getting suspicious after the neighbors spotted an ex-boyfriend visiting his house. A little Facebook stalking, some late-night confrontations later, he's pretty sure he's not just being paranoid. Mrs. White's got some explaining to do, and it's gonna be juicy.
I had the suspicions she was having an ex-boyfriend come over while I was at work, because I had neighbors tell me he was coming over, and then I started doing the snooping on Facebook, seeing where his location was, looking through her phone, and then he showed up, and that's when I knew there was something happening. Why would you call him if we're arguing?
Hold on to your popcorn, because here it comes. Mrs. White admits she started cheating a hot minute after they got hitched. She blames a lack of cuddles and hand-holding, but honestly, it sounds like she's been busier than a one-toothed man in a corn-on-the-cob eating contest. Next up, she tries to win back Mr. Right.
A week after you got married?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. White, have you been cheating?
Yes, but I have like abandonment issues because I was adopted. So like if he's not showing me the love and affection that I need, but I just want him to like show me love and affection and be there for me and like hold my hand in public and just be there.
Strap in for more drama. Mrs. White wants to turn things around with their anniversary around the corner. She's dead sure her husband is the father and hopes proving it will stop their marriage from imploding. But wait till you see the evidence Mr. White's about to drop.
Yes, our anniversary is in 2 days. I want to make this right so we can better our marriage and just prove that Savannah is his.
You are certain Savannah is your husband's biological child?
Yes, Your Honor. I moved in with them after a month of being together, and then probably 8 months later, I ended up getting pregnant with our first child. We ended up getting married. Everything just happened.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, bam! Mr. White pulls out texts and posts that show Mrs. White hasn't quite been the model wife. These aren't just flirty texts. They're the whole 9 yards of naughtiness. And boy, does it kick off a storm.
I have text messages proof right here of the most recent is Valentine's Day. She went to another man's house while I'm sitting at the house with the kids.
Well, that's because you didn't even get me anything, and you were just yelling at me. You were treating me like crap and was gonna go to a friend's house.
Because you were saying you were going to a park at 9 o'clock at night.
It's about to get real soppy in here. Mr. White spills his guts about how much he loves his kids and the agony of his wife's cheating. It's a soap opera level plot twist, and your heart's gonna break for the guy. But hold up, Mrs. White isn't done shocking us yet.
She aspirates, so when she drinks, she has to have it thickened, or half of it will go into her lungs and she'll get pneumonia. Difficulties than my other children. I just love her, I can't, but she won't let me leave. I've literally tried to physically leave, and she has stood in front of the car to where I couldn't leave, or she says, I'm gonna call the cops and tell them you hit me.
What?
Get ready for the grand finale.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. White, you are her father.